Okay, guys, sometimes it's important to know where we've been to understand where we're at right now, okay? So let me give you the original intent of the assault weapons ban that Bill Clinton did. Now, here's the basis of that as it pertains to an AR-15, okay? They banned the bayonet lug, they banned the flash hider, they banned the collapsible stock, they banned the 30-round standard capacity magazine, and they banned the short barrels, all right? Now, they did this for this purpose, okay? Remember, at that time, they weren't as versed in the culture of weapons as we are now, of AR-15s as we are now, okay? So, in their mind back then, people wore trench coats. And if you remember correctly, I mean, that was the thing for everybody. You know, the Terminator movie, the first one, you know, Reese wore a trench coat. Cowboys were wearing the big slickers just around town. Trench coats were a very popular thing at that time. So what they thought was, we don't want them to have a short barrel and we don't want them to have a collapsible stock so that they can't hide it under their trench coat and then walk in and shoot a bunch of people. That's why they did that, all right? So let's see what they didn't understand. They didn't understand that the collapsible stock was not made to make the gun shorter so that you could hide it under a trench coat. It was made because it's a one-size-fit-all rifle. So we could have somebody, you know, a kid shoot it, somebody who's a little bigger shoot it, a woman shoot it, a really tall person shoot it. You can adjust the stock for your length of pull in order to be able to get the rifle fit to you to be able to accurately shoot it better. Okay? That's why the adjustable stock's there. It has nothing to do with being able to fold it up and make the gun smaller so you can hide it from people. It actually doesn't make the gun, what, this much smaller? I mean, that is very stupid logic. That's liberal logic. Idiots think that way because they don't know any better. You've heard them say, you know, they've got the AR-15 with a 30-round clip and it'll shoot 150 rounds a second. I mean, you've heard them stupid liberals. That's what they believe because they don't know any better, all right? Secondly, the flash hider, they thought, oh my gosh, if somebody was shooting at us, we wouldn't be able to see them shooting at us, so we don't want the flash hider because we want to know where they're shooting from. Well, that's dumb. It doesn't matter what device is on the front of the gun. If they're shooting at you, they're shooting at you. You're not trying to pinpoint where their muzzle flash is coming from. All right? That's just stupid liberal logic that scares people or that they were scared of. Okay? Now, the other portion of the 11 or the 10.5 inch, 11, anything under 16 inch, what they really don't understand is the original intent was so that you couldn't hide it inside of a trench coat. Well, nobody freaking wears trench coats anymore. And every single shooter, every single one, everyone that has shot with a semi-automatic weapon, an AK or an AR, they didn't hide it first. They just started shooting. The guy in Walmart in El Paso the other day walks in, just starts shooting. The guy that went to the bar the other day walks in, just starts shooting. All right, so their intent isn't to hide it. By making the rifle shorter, you're not making it any more concealable. It doesn't change anything but this much. So you take a rifle, their original intent was to take a rifle this big and be able to make it this big. That's it. And the rifle is actually less deadly because it's traveling less feet a second. All right? The purpose of a short barrel rifle is if you want to suppress it or if you are clearing your house, which I like it for that, right? If AR-15 is your self-defense weapon inside your house, it's nice to be able to have a little short, compact rifle. And when I say short, compact, guys, it's 4 inches shorter. So the whole liberal logic idea about short barrels, banning pistol braces, bayonet lugs, flash hiders, collapsible stocks, it was based around they didn't understand guns at all at that time, and they didn't. The culture was different. We don't wear big trench coats anymore. You have not seen a single instance where a flash hider, a short barrel rifle, a bayonet lug. You have not seen a single instance where any of that changed the deadliness of a bad guy with a gun, okay? So it's really important that we understand the intent of why they did what they did. They banned the flash hider, the bayonet lug, the length of the barrel, the stock, and the magazine, thinking that that would not be able to hide them and not be able to shoot as many rounds. Well, we know now the magazine's stupid because we can reload 10-round magazines as fast as we can reload 30, and we can do as much damage. So we've seen this. It doesn't matter how many rounds they have. A bad guy with a gun is going to always do damage, even if it's 1 round, even if it's a knife. So this whole, it was an evil pistol brace and a short barrel rifle that caused him to do the shooting in Dayton, Ohio. That's stupid liberal logic, and it doesn't work. But what they're going to do is they're going to use that, and they're going to say, well, it was because of this he was able to do this. He could have done that with a 20-inch stock regular rifle. He could have done that with a shotgun. He could have done that with anything that he wanted. He could have done it with a samurai sword. So the choice of weapon didn't matter. But it's really important that you understand the original intent behind the reason they banned those portions of the AR-15 and why they're trying to do it again. SBRs are stupid to ban. They should not ban short barrel rifles because it doesn't change anything for concealability. It doesn't change anything. Not one person has used one for that. So it's a foolish liberal logic argument. But what they want you to think is if we can take a little, we can take a little, we can take a little. And once that's on the books, when the conservatives leave office and the liberals take over, which make no doubt they're going to do it, when they do that, they can reinterpret that. And that's how you get the slippery slope. They reinterpret, right? Until all of a sudden we don't have anything left. So it's important that you arm yourselves with the real knowledge of the original assault ban, which they continuously go back to. There is zero reason, none, to ban a pistol brace or a short barrel rifle. None. It doesn't affect anything. As a matter of fact, it's less lethal, although still lethal, but less lethal than a long barrel. So their liberal logic is incorrect logic. So we want to educate and we want to make people understand that liberals don't care about the logic of what they're doing. It's not about, are we banning this or that to make it a safer place? It's just they want all of it together so that they can take away your freedom, they can take away your right to free speech, and they can take away your religion. That's coming. I promise you, when they get your guns, that's what they're taking from you. We will go full socialist just like they want to go, and Bernie Sanders is just the mouthpiece for what's coming after Trump. All right? Whether Trump's out in 2020 or Trump's out in 2024, Bernie Sanders is the mouthpiece for what's coming. So we got to stop. We can't let it continue. It has to stop. And if they're going to ban something, I'm all for common sense gun control. Sounds great. Everything we already have on the books is common sense enough gun control. There doesn't need to be any more. You just need to enforce what we already have. All right? Ponder on it.